Okay, hi everybody. Okay, first I want to uh, talk about this expression, you could have heard a pin drop. A pin drop. Sorry, my eyes are a little red. I just got out of the shower. All right. So anyway, I want to just show you what a pin is. Okay, see this little thing falling? It's a very tiny thing, right? And if it falls, now this is falling on some kind of glass table or something, but uh, if it falls on the floor, it's not going to make very much noise. Especially if it falls on a carpet, it's most people can't hear it. Especially if there's any kind of ambient noise, uh, you know, you won't hear it unless it's very, very quiet. So if you've ever been to like a symphony, uh, it's very quiet in there, and they tell everybody to be quiet, and almost everybody respects it, right? Because that's the atmosphere. So before, when the conductor comes up, and he's like, just before he does that, it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop, right? And that's the expression, the idiom. It's, oh, it's so quiet you could hear a pin drop, or you could have heard a pin drop. You could have heard a pin drop. Okay, so uh, let's talk about situations where, you know, uh, this could be used. Let's say, for example, a couple uh, are got into a fight and they stop talking to each other, right? And it's very quiet in there, in the room. Nobody's making any noise, and so the woman is talking to her girlfriend and said, "Yeah, it was so quiet you could hear a pin drop." Okay, or let's imagine. I thought about this scenario. Let's say it's a church, and uh, the pastor of the church and his wife, who plays the organ, uh, are in front of the congregation, the people, the audience, and they've got this happy marriage, or at least they pretend they have this happy marriage. But then one day, uh, they start to have a little discussion with each other, and somehow you can tell that they're not getting along on that day, right? And they start to have a little exchange a few words, like not very friendly words. The congregation is not going to speak at that time because they're listening to what's going on. So later, somebody from the congregation is describing what happened, and they say, "Oh yeah, you could have heard a pin drop in that room." Okay, so that's what it's talking about. It's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Now let me go back to this thing here. This is actually a commercial uh, that what they're saying is, this is Sprint. They're saying the audio quality of their telephone service is so good that if you make a long distance call, you could hear this pin drop on the other end. And maybe they did a test and it was true. Who knows? But okay, let's take a look at some examples. There's people saying it. I wonder if I've got this audio low. It was silent as a morgue, which is where they take dead people in the beginning. You could have heard a pin drop.
It was silent as a morgue. You could have heard a pin drop.
Okay, it's a common expression,
And you could hear a pin drop.
right? It's very quiet.
And you could have heard a pin dropper.
Okay, which just means it was very quiet because maybe there was some kind of, it could be anything, right? Let's say, for example, I got a good example. This is kind of, this is a true story. One time, I lost weight. And I lost 22 kilos. We were at this party, and I started to talk about it, right? I said, yeah, I lost 22 kilos, right? And this girl goes, oh, how did you do that? Suddenly, everybody got quiet. And you could have heard a pin drop in that room. Well, it wasn't in a room, no. It was outside. It was outside. So you could probably hear like some locusts, making, but you couldn't hear anybody talking. Suddenly, everybody got quiet. And you could have heard a pin drop because everybody wanted to listen to what I had to say about how I lost weight, because everybody sort of wants to, they have a little bit of weight they want to lose, And but my advice is, if you ever do lose weight, don't bring up that topic at a party, because that's all you're going to be talking about the rest of the night. Because somebody else is going to walk up and say, oh, what are you guys talking about? Oh, yeah, he lost a bunch of weight, and then you got to repeat everything again. So anyway, so let's take a look at some examples of people saying it. Okay. Oh, I did do that. Now I think, and this was the whole commercial, the Sprint pin drop TV commercial, right? They used this kind of pin, all right? Let me check here. This doesn't tell me how long I've gone on the video. So I think I'm just going to finish this video right now. But I'm going to make a follow-up video, and I'm going to tell you my favorite example of you could have heard a pin drop. Okay, so I will talk to you on the next idiom.